Hi everybody, if you've been aware of the keto diet out there, you know that it's a very trendy topic. However, there's a lot of misinformation out there. So tune into the show today and I'm going to be revealing a lot of the things that most people are not talking about and the do's and the tips and tricks on how you can maximize the effects of your keto diet if you're over 40. Now, today's topic is keto over 40. How does that work? If you're on a keto diet and you're over 40, are you doing anything wrong? What are some of the tips, the tricks? How can you improve it? What do you need to look for? These are the things that we're going to be covering today. So what I like to do is clear up a few things. If you're starting or if you're already on a keto diet and you're over 40, congratulations, because you're really reducing your carbohydrate intake. And I've been saying for years that one of the root causes of negative health conditions is all the gluten. It's all the bread, the carbohydrates, the sugars, the rice, the potatoes, the pasta. These are some of the most damaging things to the human body. By the time you're 40, in our research, you've accumulated a lot of toxic buildup within your system. So one of my best tricks, if you're on a keto diet and you're over 40, is basically taking a little step back and cleansing and healing the gut. We know now that all disease starts in the gut and all health begins in the gut. And even if you're on a keto diet, depending on what type of foods you're eating, I don't recommend a lot of the high-level fats and a lot of the meats and things that other keto doctors are recommending out there. I recommend more raw nuts and seeds, avocados, low glycemic fruits, low glycemic vegetables, and doing at least 100% vegetarian keto diet. But if you are factoring in and adding some meat, it should only be a very small percentage of your keto diet. So I recommend doing an intense, doesn't even have to be intense, by the way, just doing an intestinal cleanse using an oxygen-based cleanser, utilizing some good probiotics on your keto diet. When you're going to be eating more fats, it's very important for your liver to be clean. What I've found in the majority of people over 40 is that their liver is only working about 25%. So I highly recommend to supercharge your keto diet to do a liver cleanse, maybe even 2 liver cleanses. That way, not only are you increasing your liver's ability to process fats, but you're also cleansing your liver of 40 years of toxic gunk that might be inside of it. It's amazing the energy that you feel, the digestion that you get, the processing, the availability of your nutrients. You know, when you're talking about keto, when you're talking about diet, you basically have fats, proteins, and carbohydrates. When the bowel, number one, cannot process and digest all of those properly, and the liver cannot break the nutrients down properly, that can cause you to start developing toxemia. The proteins turn putrefactic, the carbohydrates might ferment, the fats turn rancid, and that leads to negative health conditions. The next thing that I would recommend to supercharge your keto diet would be intermittent fasting. We eat too much. There were doctors in the 1930s, the 1940s that were saying we eat 10 times the amount of food that our body actually needs. Now, people always say, I'm running out of energy, which is another good reason the keto diet works. If you're doing it for short periods of time, or if you modify it to where you really understand how to live on a vegetarian keto-based diet. One thing that you can do, which I highly recommend, if you're on a ketogenic diet over 40, is to fast 1 day a week. Do a 24-hour water fast once a week. So intermittent fasting would mean you would just skip 1 meal out of the day. Skip breakfast if you're doing intermittent fasting and eat between 11 a.m. and 6 p.m. or noon and 6 p.m. Just reducing the amount of food in your system is going to speed up the results tremendously. Whatever you're doing your ketogenic fasting for or your ketogenic diet for, you're always going to get better results if you're not eating as much as you normally eat. Another tip that I would throw in there is exercise. Move around. When your body is in ketosis, when your fuel that your body is using is ketones instead of glucose, which is the keto diet, then you're going to have more energy. So get out a little bit more. Just increasing your exercise levels by 10%, by 25%. It doesn't have to be hard exercise. You can go for a walk up the stairs at your office. Just do more movement. The body is meant to move. So by increasing your movement, you're going to supercharge your ketogenic diet, especially if you're over 40. It's also really good for your bones and your muscles. You know, when you turn 40, you might be atrophied. You might have that extra 20 or 30 pounds of weight on you. You might have some osteoporosis starting to come in or some sort of a bone density. You might not be able to exercise as much because you might have kids, or sometimes if you have kids, you actually exercise more. We're always open to hearing your comments as well. So if you're over 40 and if you've been on a ketogenic diet for quite some time, please post in the comment section below your 1 or 2 tips that you've noticed in your life. We know everybody's different. Everybody lives in a different environment. Everybody's exposed to different stress levels, different diets. So it's always good. We're a community here. We want to share all of our knowledge with everybody else. So please feel free to give us any of your tips or tricks. Post them in the comments below and share them with our community. One of my secrets that I always tell people if they're going to go on any diet, especially a keto diet, is to make sure that you choose organic-only foods, non-GMO foods. What you don't want to do is put genetically modified foods in your body because you want to keep your bowel healthy during a keto diet. You want to keep your liver healthy during a keto diet. And you want to keep your mind focused during a keto diet. And that's why you want to relieve or get away from any type of stressors. So those are my tips for the keto diet over 40. Start changing your life today. Learn about how you can clean up your environment. Learn about the root cause of disease. Learn about how you can keep the inside of your body clean. Please remember, you have the ability to heal yourself. You have a self-healing mechanism within you, and you have the power to live healthy and happy.